Everything that happens to us is for the best. The events that happen to us are given to us as lessons, from which everyone draws his own conclusions. All these lessons are given to a person only with benefit, and it does not matter whether it is good or bad. If now it seems that what happens is a bad event, then in time the same situation can be interpreted as reasonable, instructive, fair. It is not for nothing that there is a proverb, whatever is done is for the best, and whatever does not happen is for the good. Any grief and suffering can be considered as the first step to further improvement of the situation, which is possible only after reaching the bottom. Human life is a series of black and white stripes, when luck is replaced by failures, but necessarily with an unchanging progressive upward movement to a better life, as if in a spiral. Optimists believe this is true for any individual, pessimists at best recognize it globally for millennia of history. Proverb. An ancient king had one very close friend. From childhood they had been inseparable. The friend had a distinctive ability: whatever was going on around him, whatever happened in his life, whether positive or negative, he always and everywhere said, "It's good." One day during the hunting season, the king and his friend were preparing to go into the forest. The friend, as he had done for many years, was preparing guns for the Tsar, cleaning, loading, and checking them. When the Tsar decided to check how the gun shoots, he took the gun already prepared by his friend and fired it. But there was a mishap, and one of the fingers on the king's hand was torn off. Looking at the king, the friend said, as usual, "This is good." "What good is that?" screamed the king, writhing in pain. And immediately ordered the old friend to be imprisoned in a tower. A year passed. The king went hunting again, and in the forest he and his retinue were attacked by a wild tribe of cannibals. They twisted the king and his entourage and dragged them to their village. There they set up poles, tied up all the captives, and began to build fires to roast the whole entourage, headed by the king, and eat them. The chief of the tribe, examining the captives, noticed that one of them was missing a finger on his hand. And because of an ancient superstition, savages never ate those who had physical defects. Then they untied the king and let him go away. While the king was wandering to his palace, he remembered how he lost his finger, and felt remorse for his inappropriate behavior with his friend. As soon as he reached home, he went straight to the tower to talk and ask his friend for forgiveness. "You were right," said the king, as soon as he had crossed the threshold of the cell, "it was indeed good that I was left without a finger." And he recounted all the events that had befallen him during the last few days. "I'm really sorry I imprisoned you in the tower. It was wrong of me. Forgive me, friend." "No. It was good." "What are you talking about? Is it good that I put my best friend in prison and you've been here for a year?" "Of course it's good. If you hadn't put me in jail, I'd be burning at the aboriginal stake right now. And now we're both alive. That's good." The parable says that in any negative event, one must find a positive life meaning, or understand how it must have happened in order for one to have a relevant experience. No one can know what will happen ahead of time, so sometimes a person, in a hurry, makes wrong conclusions or makes wrong decisions. Only GD, or the universe, or guardian angels know the only correct and easy decision. It is not always possible for a person to understand at once what consequences can be borne by certain events. But it is necessary to listen to one's intuition, that is, to talk to the higher powers through one's subconsciousness, through the divine spirit. There's no bad without the good. Look back and try to assess how far you have come so far. If it seems to you that you are not moving from the place or even pacing backwards, then remember what you were like 5, 10 years ago. Remember your actions, the decisions you made, your reactions, your intentions, your attitudes toward the people and events around you, and yourself. Looking back, you will realize that it is impossible to stay the same as you were. Change is an inevitable process. After a while, you realize how much you have changed and become a completely different person. So tell yourself that everything you are doing is good and right. It means that you are going the right way. A person best realizes changes in themselves when they meet people from the past on their life path or return to activities from the past for whatever reason. You will realize that you have changed a great deal because you will not be able to relate to these people as you used to. You yourself will not want to fit into the framework that you were comfortable with before. Either you have to break up with these people for good, or they will have to readjust and accept you renewed. Or you find that you are completely unable to do the work that once came naturally to you. Sometimes a person draws false conclusions, thinking that they are no longer the same person they used to be, have gotten older and can't do things the way they could before. But actually the reason is different, you have simply outgrown that old thing if you can't do it again. You are already on a new, higher stage or are about to climb it. If this happens to you, tell yourself that everything is good and right. And it means that you are on the right path. Look back and ask yourself, when did you choose the best of opportunities and when did you not? If you chose the best, your life immediately blossomed. You had a slight feeling of taking off, even though outwardly nothing may have changed. When you are on the right path, every little thing can have a special meaning. You just live an ordinary life, but you are overwhelmed with a feeling of intoxication of what is happening, happiness, joy, harmony and perfection of being. When you did not always choose the best, this is also normal. You shouldn't berate yourself for it. You went forward, making bumps and bruises, wading through the thicket of life's labyrinths by trial and error, getting your life experience and learning from your mistakes. Yes, this path is longer, thorny and difficult, but the lessons learned on this path are learned much better. You shared your energy, receiving experience in return. You were getting a chance to come out again to a favorable experience. Remember, when you received clues and signs on your path, in what form did they come to you? What were they pushing you toward, what were they protecting you from? You may not have fully realized that these are not just events, but signs. Tell yourself that everything that happens to you means that you are on the right path. Even if you haven't always followed the signs and clues, that's okay too. You can fully appreciate them now. You can realize the choices they have been pushing you towards. And now you can go that way on your own, voluntarily, without pushing. The road itself will begin to flow in front of you. Are you doing something that you would have been surprised to do 10 or 15 years ago? Are you increasingly finding joy in familiar things and events? Are you feeling more and more energized and excited? Then congratulate yourself. You are on the right track. People need some failures on the path of life to realize that no matter how far one falls into them, one will still come back to the light again and again. And if he falls into darkness, let him remember that it is temporary, one just needs to wait it out, and the light will surely return. It is like the dawn, it always comes. Nothing's random. So you're okay. Learn to treat yourself with love and trust. Recognize the changes that are happening to you. When you compare yourself to others, you should not do that. It is better to realize your uniqueness. Then you will be able to consciously manage your life. Let love for the world, joy, and well-being be your life guidelines. Gone are the days when you needed teachers, mentors, and tutors. No one knows your path better than your soul. Because only you yourself have infinite possibilities. Your path is beautiful because it leads to the light. And it is.